unique. All right, guys, welcome to Bleirdos.
Bleirdos.
Your fellow weirdos.
Cause we black, yo.
We weird, yo.
And we're Bleirdos. Ayy.
Hold on, what happened to ow? I can't even do it.
Ow. Sound like a little cat. Ow.
Hi, guys.
We are coming at you live from the living room.
Live from the living room today. Thank you, Safi.
You know, Safi, I came in and I smelled that sage. I smelled that incense. Actually, I was like, damn, we incensed up in here. We gonna have to bring some incense to the people real soon. We got some real cool coming up for you guys. Just to commemorate our first 100 and something followers.
100 done.
Honey, you gotta be grateful for everyone, because I remember when the first ones was just us.
Okay.
At first we was in there by ourselves, so shit. Everything.
We come a long way.
We have come a long way, y'all. A long
Since
way.
February 3rd.
Since February 3rd, right? And it's only...
It's
We've
only
been
March.
doing
It's the
good,
end of March.
y'all.
Yeah, it's
We've
the
been
end of
doing
March.
good. We've been doing good.
Are we 7 episodes? See, 8 not shown, but 7.
8, I think.
Well, that
We got a
because
hidden
we got a lot of episodes.
Yeah, we
right?
got a few hidden ones.
We got a few hidden episodes that we're gonna bring to y'all on one cold Saturday morning. When it's
Hopefully it
freezing.
ain't cold. I'm ready for this weather to heat up.
Yeah.
Really? Oh,
Yes.
more than this? I like this right here.
I think this is
right
good
now.
for me too. But the
I'm gonna
reason
stay
why
right
I don't
here.
like this because this is spring. It
Oh,
means
the
allergies.
pollen.
Y'all, my kids been looking at me every day like, you still sick? I'm like, I've been like this for like 2 months now. Y'all better leave me alone. It's 2 months out the year where I be looking like somebody pushed me. I mean, it's a lot of days out the year that I look like that. But it's 2 full months, but I'm like, I ain't gonna even try to make it happen. I'm gonna just sit here.
Pollen is a beast.
Man, but it is that reason I gotta heal my gut though. That's what I was telling them before we started recording, y'all. Like, I gotta heal my gut, because basically something in my body is saying, oh, attack. So there's some confusion going on in there, and I need to straighten some shit out in my gut. That's the only way I'm gonna get right. So I'm working on all these natural foods. Definitely lemongrass, not lemongrass. I might have lemongrass and don't
Try
know
it.
I'm gonna try it. Eucalyptus be every night. I be all like, I put it on my nose. Robert be rubbing it on his face. I'm like, I'm not that bold. Because one time he rubbed it in his eye. He was like,
have you tried
his
rubbing
eye?
it?
Oh, no, accidentally.
It was accidentally, but I was like, who rubs eucalyptus across their face like that?
Have
Don't
you
even make sense.
actually tried like rubbing the essential oils on your actual stomach?
No, but I bet you that would work.
Like, I would try, if you don't like even put it on your feet. Like, have you, like when you were younger, did your parents ever put something on your
big
feet?
And then put the bags over your feet and
try rubbing it on your stomach and see like if
what
that
happens.
Yeah,
I need to do that because we gotta get some healing power going on up in here. We really do. But yeah, we got some real cool stuff for you guys coming real soon to commemorate our first.
Yeah, so make sure you're following our Instagram, because
Bleirdos
that
podcast
is where you will get all the information about. That is probably the first line where you will get all information Bleirdos related, and definitely for this special announcement that we have coming up, because we're super excited. We poured a lot into it. So look out.
And I just like before we jump into stuff, I really want to like push an attitude of gratitude. Like, I look at other people's podcasts, of course, but I remind myself not to compare myself to other people. There are people who are podcasting and doing really well, but they also have like had platforms. And so for us to not have a platform and to just step out here and be like, let's do it and just start from the scratch. I swear to God, I feel like Chance the Rapper friend right now. It's like we doing everything on our own, you know, like the production, the music, you know, finding people to help us take pictures and things like that. So I just have the attitude of gratitude, because 100 might not mean a lot to some, but for us to have like really just decided we're gonna jump into it and get it going, like
there's 100 people that not only support us but believe in us, relate to us, and push us every day. Because even though we have that 100, we have to make sure that we're feeding into those 100
Definitely. Because even if every one of them 100 grow 100 or grow one, shit, we still doing good. So it starts, it starts from one. Or I guess in our case, it starts from three.
And there's power in the number 3.
Yes, there is. There is power in the number 3. Oh, I can't wait till we do that special.
Speaking about the photographs, shout out to Bobby Nikon.
Bobby Nikon.
Bobby Nico.
I was just going to say previously known as Bobby Nico.
Bobby Nico. But we had so much fun doing that photo shoot, and I just loved how all the pictures turned out.
I did too. We look so dope. And it was interesting because I don't think a year ago I would have been like, oh, I'm gonna be with these like 2 beautiful ladies doing this podcast, and we're gonna be taking some pictures
and listening to the podcast and laughing like I wouldn't even
like
sit right there next to y'all.
Right.
Yeah.
Every time I listen, I'm like, wow, this is like entertainment.
Right.
Like it's funny and it's light and
I love it.
Yeah, it's great.
If you haven't checked out our latest episode, it's up now. You can find it on SoundCloud. Search at Bleirdos. It is Holiday or Holiday. Do you or do you not celebrate holidays? And let us know. We definitely want to talk to y'all. Let us know in our comment section. You can send us a message. You can send us an email, and our Venmo is still open.
Always.
We still taking money for our Venmo. We gotta fund this thing somehow.
Always open.
Yes.
So we definitely want to hear from y'all and what you think, and give us some ideas of things that y'all would like us to record. What do y'all want us to talk about? We are so open, and thanks.
All right. So what we talking about today, y'all?
We are talking about beauty. All encompassing the standard of beauty.
All right, and beauty is in the eye of the beholder. They always say that, but what does that really mean? Beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And for me, like, if you don't see yourself as beautiful, you are right. You ain't beautiful. If you don't see yourself as beautiful, bitch, you ain't beautiful.
Because that, I guess, like, it really makes sense.
Oh my
Simple
God.
as that. You know what I'm saying?
Does that extend to like when a newborn baby is born, and you know how sometimes you be looking at people and just like,
oh, when they was baby, because they're not formed yet. Yeah, their face is not formed, because you'll see a 1-week-old baby.
I see why Beyonce hold off on the pictures of her kid.
They ain't cute.
Some babies, when they are born, y'all, and I love babies.
It take a few months. Yeah, for their little face to plump up and stuff. I've seen that, but I try not to come in because they babies and they growing and they develop.
I try not to
keep
comment
it on the
either,
inside.
yes, because I don't have kids yet, and
Yeah.
I don't want that karma.
Yeah.
But I definitely agree that, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, but I also think that there is an idea of like a social, well, it's a proven fact that there is a, I guess you could say, standard of beauty, like a socially constructed image of beauty and what that is and what that looks like. And so when we think about beauty, especially being like black,
right,
and being quote unquote like weird, whatever that definition of weird is for you, we don't necessarily, or I know I can only speak for myself, I don't necessarily fit into that mold of what the standard of beauty is. And when I say that, Eurocentric features like a skinny nose, long legs, fair skin, skinny feminine frame, long blonde hair, light eyes, cisgender, which is like able-bodied, or like heterosexual. And so like when we define our own standard of beauty, or when we look at that standard of beauty, that does not necessarily apply. It's very marginalized, and it leaves out a large subset of people, me included, because I'm not fair skinned, I don't got long blonde hair, I'm not skinny, and I ain't got long legs. So,
but there's
you got
another
long fingers in their bony.
I do have anthems.
But there's another standard of beauty in the hip hop world where you have these light skin, fair skin, long hair, small waist, huge butt, perfect breast, perfect perky breast. So you have a lot of different standards of beauty, and I think for me it always boils down to the beauty that you see in yourself. So yeah, they may show all of these images, but when you start comparing yourself to those images and you start doing things to augment what your body, that's because they're deep down inside, there's something inside of you that doesn't love you for who you are.
Definitely. Yeah, I think it gets kind of crazy because a lot of us as kids, you know, from the time that we're born, we're subconsciously like exposed to those standards of beauty, and it comes by way of our parents. You know, the minute our edges start to curl up a little bit, we got to sit down and get that lie on it. You know, and they told us lies in the process that, you know, a little bit of curl somehow means that you're not presentable. You know, you're not cute. You're not making it work. It's not happening for you. And so we've passed these like forms of oppression, because it's definitely a form of oppression, down to our kids, and we told them that like the features that you have when you look in the mirror are not enough. You know, they're not enough. You gotta look like somebody else. You know, you gotta. And so even if we're not consciously doing it, and that's what's so crazy to me, because a lot of this is not conscious. Even if we're not consciously doing it, we're trying to conform to the European standard of beauty. We want that long hair. We want them light eyes. You know what I'm saying? Like that's I mean, really, that's where the idea of mascara comes from. Like, it lifts your eyelashes, but it also lightens the look of your eyes, because it's the contrast of the black with your eyes. So it's like we do these things sometimes like intentionally, sometimes not intentionally, to look like this standard of beauty. Even when you do your makeup and you do these highlights, you know,
the contouring,
contour and stuff to skinny your nose and things like that. You know, we don't often realize where the roots of this is. And so I guess that's what we're going to get into today, like trying to, you know, debunk these myths and realize that all of us have our own, you know, style of beauty. Everybody got their own style of beauty.
Yeah. So I want to open it up asking like a question, right? Okay. So my question is, when did you first like feel unbeautiful?
Make it feel I'm pretty too.
That used to be my song.
Me too. Man. You can buy your hair if it won't grow. You can fix your nose if it says so. Oh, sorry.
All right, for copyright purposes, we're gonna stop the song there.
Oh yeah, that was TLC. I'm pretty.
I'm sorry.
I think so. It's crazy. I grew up, and it's hard to put this out there or whatever, but my mom and our relationship is good, but I grew up in a home where I internalized like all the different things that were said to me. So like, if I was told like, with your ugly black ass, like in my head I thought it was ugly, you know, or like when everybody called me Blackie, you know what I'm saying, I thought like, oh, my blackness is ugly, you know. So I remember literally being in middle school. All right, this is a story that like used to be so hard for me to tell, but I like I've come a long way. I remember being in middle school, and if I went to the restroom, and this was up through high school too, but I remember going to the restroom, and when I would wash my hands, like I did not want to look in the mirror. When I washed my hands, like I would purposely avoid the mirror, because if I saw my face, I would just be so insecure like the whole day. So if there was ever like a guy interested in me, like I couldn't accept it. It was like they wanted something else. It was for some other reason, you know what I mean? Yeah. And at other times, like I had a boy in middle school who I just really liked. This boy named Jose. Oh my God, he was so fine.
Jose?
You gonna make me cry.
His name is Jose. Excuse me. No, it's okay. No, I'm fine now, Chris. Yes. No, I'm fine.
Just wipe them tears away.
No, I'm fine. It's rough. It's rough, and I'm sure a lot of that comes from these places that we've been through. Yeah. But I remember, I love this boy named Jose. Man, he was just so fine. The school I went to, it was like black Latino, so I dated like a lot of Latino boys. And he was tall. He played basketball. He had this beautiful hair. He was Colombian.
Oh yeah, he was exotic because he was tall.
I love tall.
I'm saying most like Hispanic Mexican men I see. Yeah, short, so I was like, oh yeah, he probably is.
Yeah, he was tall. He looked so good. But I remember he broke up with me in a letter. We used to write letters to each other, right? Yeah. And he broke up with me.
Shout out to For Your Eyes Only.
Girl,
go ahead.
Listen, For Your Eyes Only. And he broke up with me, you know, because I wasn't having sex, you know. And so, I wasn't enough. And it was always the question of, like, when you gonna have sex. But it's so, a lot of times I never really felt pretty. And a lot of it had to come from, like, being in the home. Like, even now, like, there are certain things that I don't allow to be said to my kids. And y'all know how I'm like, don't call them bad. Don't call them ugly. ugly. Like, you don't like, don't like, I don't do that to my kids.
no.
Like, to them, they're the most, to me, they're the most beautiful things in the world. So, like, when I tell them you look cute, they be like, I know. And I love it because when I was growing up, like, I never, like, felt, like, you know, like, every once in a while, like, you might feel cute, but I was blacky, I was ugly. So, if you hear my son say you ugly, he talking about your attitude. He not talking about you. It's like, that's ugly, don't hit her. Or that's ugly, don't take that from them. Like, so they may say an attitude is ugly, but, like, they don't call each other ugly. They compliment each other because I grew up in a house where, like, that just really didn't happen. And I don't think it was intentional. I feel like my mom internalized it from her family. So, yeah, it started from when I was very young. I was blacky, I was charcoal, I was all that.
Yeah, for me, it was a little opposite. Like, my mom, she didn't compliment as much, and that's because she didn't get compliments from her mom as much. So, as an adult, I look back on it and I understand, you know, but as a child, I didn't understand, you know, that I was pretty. I didn't know that I was pretty. I didn't realize that I was pretty until guys were attracted to me.
Really?
And I didn't understand that I was beautiful as a person until even I got older, like in my late 20s. That's when I really finally understood that I was beautiful and that no matter what anyone else thought, you know, that I was beautiful. But I would always, because I have these wide hips, and I would always wear big clothes because I didn't want my butt to show. I would wear big clothes, long t-shirts, because I thought I was fat, you know what I'm saying? And I didn't realize until one summer, I think I was going into my senior year of high school. I went to Huntsville with my friend, and we bought these halter top shirts, and that was my first time revealing my shape. You know what I'm saying? So I wore this outfit to take my senior portrait in, and this guy that I had a crush on since elementary school finally said something to me, and I was like, wow, you know what I'm saying? And I realized, so when I got to college, I started wearing more form-fitting things. So throughout high school, I wore big clothes because I thought I was fat. And I didn't realize it until someone else said something. So it was always insecurities there, you know what I'm saying? And not until I got older and experienced so many things, realizing that, yeah, girl, you beautiful. So when I look in the mirror every day, you know what I'm saying, getting ready to brushing my teeth or whatever, you are beautiful, you know what I'm saying? So, yeah.
That's real. I love it.
That is. For me, it wasn't inside the home. I'm gonna preface that with the story. So my mom used to tell me that my Aunt Monica, because my mom had me when she was 20, so she still lived at home with my grandma. My Aunt Monica lived there too, and I guess my aunt would take me into the bathroom, and it would be me and her locked in the bathroom, and she would put me in front of a mirror and tell me, you are so beautiful, like, you are so gorgeous. And so one day, me and my mom are out at a grocery store, and this woman looked at me and was like, you are beautiful. And I looked at her and I was like, I know. And so like I got it a lot at home, people telling me that, you know, I was beautiful or like a treasure or precious and stuff like that. And the first time I felt unbeautiful, I'll never forget. So y'all, I don't know if y'all ever had like a sock hop or whatever, but in 5th grade, the girls had to ask the guy to like go to this sock hop, which is like this dance or whatever for 5th grade, whatever. So I ended up asking this boy if he wanted to go with me. And like, I was athletic, like I played soccer, so I was a little bit more like little bit more muscly, stockier than like the average girl at that time. I was also one of the tallest people in my 5th grade class, so it was just like I had all the cards against me. And I asked him if he wanted to go to the dance with me, and he was like, no, because you look like a boy.
What?
And y'all, I was crushed. First of all, why are girls in 5th grade asking boys if they want to go to a dance, right? Like, looking back on it, like, that is just a setup and a recipe for disaster. But I guess I get it, like, confidence boosting. I don't fucking know. But that, in that moment, I looked at myself completely, like, different. And from that point on, like, even now, being a mid-20-year-old woman, am constantly evaluating and reevaluating myself in the mirror all the time. And no matter how many, like, people tell me that I'm beautiful, or, like, guys that I've dated or whatever that are attracted to me based on my looks, like, I always feel like there's something about me that I'm not as beautiful as the next girl. And so it can lead to sort of like these insecurities that I don't want to admit are true. But also, I think it's just an ongoing battle for me. I'm not like 100% comfortable in my like beauty to say that like I am beautiful just yet. Like I haven't painted that picture of like what that beauty for me looks like, and as confident as I want to be, I know that there's still like this internal battle that I'm dealing with. So I think until I'm 100% confident with self in terms of accepting the faults that I have no control over changing, then I don't think that like I can fully say that I'm not still unbeautiful in a sense.
It reminds me of the serenity prayer. Please help me out. Grant me the serenity to accept the things that I cannot change.
The courage to change the things that I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
Right.
Just for today. That's the end of it. It's like just for today.
Okay, right.
And the reason why I stress that just for today, because like I be having these moments where it's like today it's not working. Let me just get through today, and tomorrow I might feel different. Because when she was talking about she reevaluate herself in the mirror, I reevaluate myself in that little square on FaceTime. I be like, shit, that's what I look like. What the? And it's like it's really hard sometimes. You know what I'm saying? Like and I'm glad that you admit that, because I still have these days that I go through, and I do. It's like, y'all, it's crazy the stuff I go through. And I'm sure maybe y'all can sort of identify with this. The stuff I go through for reassurance, okay? I mean, like, it don't matter. I'm married. I don't care what nobody else think. You know, somebody love me. Somebody love these dirty draws. Like, who cares?
Dirty
you know?
draw.
But I also realize that, like, I have to be beautiful within myself. And I'm like, this is what I look like. My you know, the first step is like, hey, look, you ain't going nowhere. Like, these looks ain't going nowhere unless I physically go through something to change them, right? And so then I have to learn, like, for each day to love something about something on me, because they're not going anywhere. Like, I got to learn to sit and love myself.
On purpose.
Like, I have to sit there and be like, okay, so what's so bad about this? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, my face may not be as symmetrical as the next person, but, like, you know, it sees, it smells, you know, like, just all the things that I go through, but it's very intentional of, like, me telling myself, first of all, it ain't going nowhere.
Yeah.
So what you gonna do? You gonna sit there and keep beating it up, or, like, you gonna figure out how to, like, love it? And so I have to constantly go over that, you know.
And for me, my breakthrough just came with comparison. Like, I would always compare myself to somebody, situations, looks, whatever, but realizing that I will never compare to anyone else because I am unique. Going 7th grade science, we talking about genetics. 50% DNA from your mother, 50% DNA from your father makes a unique individual. So yeah, I may look like my mama. Yeah, I may look like my daddy in some ways, but I cannot compare myself to anyone. So me, how I look, if I want to change it, I'm going to change it.
Right.
I can pay money to change it. I can work out to change it, change my eating, whatever, change my regimen of what I put on my skin or whatever. But some of those things that are not going to change, I can either love them or hate them.
Right.
And hating them brings me depression. It brings me stress. And if I could realize that I don't compare and that I'm uniquely me and I'm uniquely beautiful, you know what I'm saying? But that's where my breakthrough came from. Stop comparing myself to others. And that's just how
I don't think that it's necessarily a comparison to others, but a comparison of previous self, right? So like, I'm constantly in and out of the gym. Like, it's a day by day struggle. I'm not even gonna call it year by year because I may not see next year. So it's a day by day struggle, right? And I look at like what I used to look like when I was like playing soccer, running track, going to the gym, doing CrossFit compared to like now, right? And it's just like when I go into the gym, I'm pissed because I can't lift as much as I used to be able to lift, or like I can't run as long as I used to be able to, or like when I do sprints, my level is not at where it used to be. So it's just that frustration with self of like, how did you get here, right? And like, I know everything that I did, because even moving to Texas, like, I didn't realize I was gaining weight until like I put on a shirt and I saw like a stretch mark on my arm, and I was like, "Oh, bitch!" Like, but at the same time, I recognized this weight that I put on was not due to stress. It was not due to being unhealthy. It was due to having friends. It was happy weight, right?
Okay.
Going to happy hour,
really?
like hanging out with folks, trying new foods every day, like, and just being explorative of this city that I'm trying to embrace, and eating really hearty meals all the time. So none of like my fluctuation in weight was due to like being miserable or being unhealthy. That shit was due to going out, chilling, kicking it, being good. You know what I mean? So it's like I can't really be upset because of what got me here was nothing negative. Like, but now that I recognize it, okay, you need to cut back. Like, you need to cut back.
But me and you on that same track because I've been in a lot of them places with you. Yeah. And we having a good time.
And when you say, oh, I'm sorry.
We were having a good time, but I didn't start drinking until I met all of y'all. Yeah. And part of it was stress because my job is stressful. But then when I got a lot of friends to help me,
but when you think of the bigger picture.
The bigger picture, But I also go to a 9 to 5 every day, and I'm on the plantation every day, and that's time to like on days like that I can get up and do my own thing. I go out, I move around and stuff, and so some of it has to do with the fact that I'm still on the plantation. I still got to work for other people instead of work to improve myself and have time for my friends, which I want for my best life, and I'm working towards it.
We getting there.
Yeah, and when you said something about trying new foods. Yeah. So before I moved to Texas, I was a pescatarian. Like, I would eat mostly vegetables, but fish every now and then. So when I came to Texas, I started eating a lot of meat. First of all, because Miss Penny, I was staying with Evan and them, and Miss Penny tears down in the kitchen, and I'm at first, the first few days, I was like, let me just eat the vegetable parts. Then I was like, fuck all that. I'm finna eat this shit. And then being in this new city, trying new restaurants, I'm like, fuck all day. I'm finna try this chicken and meats and everything like that. So I hadn't been able to get back on my healthy eating. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
It's been rough in that house.
It's
my
hard.
students is like, I wish I lived with you. Because like the other day, she made healthy food, right? Okay. Let me tell you. She made these roasted garlic potatoes, okay? Like diced them up or whatever. I was like, we could have had sweet potatoes. But okay, that's fine. I love them. She also made these green beans. It was Italian potatoes, garlic green beans. And she also made a big old salad. And she also made this veggie pasta that had like a sort of coleslaw. It was like 6 different things and fruit. I was like, whether it's healthy or hearty, she gotta do it all. I'm like, I was like, okay, you don't cook no more for 3 days. I took a whole tray. Sophie had to save me off the side of the road. But that day when you saved me, that was the night before she had made the I had a whole tray of watermelon in the back seat for my students. I was like, we cannot eat all this at our house. Yeah. I'm still eating the watermelon today. So yeah, she definitely is a cooker. That's why I be trying to tell people it's hard in my house to say no because it's always just like so many colors to choose from and so many dishes.
The variety is everywhere, honey.
It'd be rough.
Okay, so I want to pause for the cause for a second.
Pause for the cause.
Because y'all know Chloe and Halle came out with a new album under Beyonce's Parkwood label. Shout out Queen B. Okay.
I'm happy that came out though, because I was a little bit concerned at first, so that makes me happy.
But they had another CD, right? Because I feel like I listened to it.
I was concerned. They did.
Okay.
But that's why I was concerned because Beyonce came out with that song. I think it was like Mama Said, and it was very, very, very folky, and it reminded me of Chloe and Haley's style. And
this album, I feel like, is a true reflection. Like, I know Beyonce had her hand in there because some of these beats, I'm like, that's Beyonce through and through. What? Yes.
Through.
But it's a good album, so if y'all haven't listened to it, y'all should. We're going to play it very low in the background.
Mood music.
Just to set the mood. So as we continue to talk,
mood,
as we continue to talk, we can get some inspiration. And I love these women. I think Beyonce did a great job of like setting them up, putting them in the position. You know, she's definitely been promoting them and hyping them up and placing them here and there. And so if you haven't seen them on Grownish, make sure you check out Grownish. This is not a plug, but it's definitely like there's so much there. We need to promote the representation for us as a people, for our kids, so that they see it. And I think Grownish is a great show.
Me too.
So let's play.
She gonna press play, but I like that idea. Yeah, that's real love. JK. But I like that idea because so many people talking about this is a part of why we have these fits of ugliness, because we haven't been represented on TV. We usually just see folks that don't look like us. You know? So representation matters. I don't care what nobody say. It's like this. If an Asian person goes and they act in a film, you think that they put all that money back into the US? No, they probably sending it home to their country. They're going back from where they from. You know, like if you from China, you probably gonna go and help towards maybe not China, I don't know, but if you're from some remote place or whatever in Asia, you probably gonna build a school or build a hospital, you know, something like that. So it's like people act like just because we participate in the commercial aspects of this country, that doesn't mean that we can't use the funds from that to build our own shit. It's it's crazy. It's like buy black, sell to everybody. So if people want to buy what you got, take the money, bring it back home. But just this idea that I'm still pissed off about Black Panther, which is now the highest grossest Marvel film, thanks to Safi. I learned this morning. But representation matters. We got to see more people that look like us so we can understand we're beautiful, we're TV worthy. You don't need no blonde hair, no wig to go apply for to TV jobs. It's people that look like you. It's fat Black people, it's skinny Black people. You know, it's tall Black people, it's short Black people, it's dark, it's light, it's people from Wakanda, it's people from South Central. So listen, I'm from Wakanda. I found out, I traced my lineage, y'all, and I'm from Wakanda. Just and I'm mad at my people for what they did, but I still love them.
No.
I think
they can't sit with me because they don't even want me there. I'm sorry.
Listen.
No. I was gonna say, I think that is so true, and I think that we also have to recognize how do I want to say this? When it comes to standardized beauty, Black people have recognized that we are beautiful too. You can look on YouTube, you can look on Pinterest, and you can see women wearing their natural hair. And I can get 10 million YouTube videos on how to do my textured size hair. But I remember first going natural in college and being on YouTube, and there wasn't too many. There probably wasn't anybody on YouTube at that time that had the hair texture like mine. So I remember being a product junkie and going through and using the Suave and using the L'Oreal and using all this stuff until Shea Moisture came out, until Miss Jessie's came out, and then it was damn, I can use this stuff for my hair type, my hair texture, and it didn't quite work because we were still figuring out. Cantu had came out, so everybody was buying up Cantu. You couldn't walk into Walmart and see no Cantu on the shelf.
And now you can't even get me to
use Cantu.
I don't even use Cantu no more.
And so I think that the representation in the Black community is there. It's just it's hard because we have to look for it. We have to follow those pages that say specifically Black girls or I look at a lot of workout pages, so Ebony Fit Freaks and stuff like that. You know what I mean?
I started looking at those workout pages in yoga.
Yeah, but I want them to be of Black people.
Right, yeah, definitely.
Of people that look like me, because they're going to have the physique and the features that are most closely related to myself. And those before and after pictures I can relate to because they look like myself, whether that person is going from being skinny to trying to gain weight, or vice versa, having weight and trying to become more physically fit. So
that's why
I don't know where I was going with that, but
Plant Power Sisters. Shout out to Plant Power Sisters. It's about plant-based Black women or whatever. And I've seen some stories that really, really, really have helped me stay on my journey.
What is it called?
I'm Plant Powered Sisters.
Oh, plants. Okay.
Yeah, Plant Power Sisters. I'm right now following someone named Tatiana. Let me see what her name is. I'm gonna give her a little shout out, even though she don't know me, but in my perfect life, she my friend. I'm following somebody named Tatiana, And Tatiana Jalisa, TatyanaJalisa. She is so like out there with her story, and like she's real about it, and like she'll put a picture up and she's like, but this wasn't my highest weight. So she talks about going from her highest weight, which was somewhere in the 300s, to where she is now, which is a size 14.
Wow.
Still thick, still beautiful,
Wow.
but like plant-based eating, like dealing with her emotional stress, dealing with her, you know, dealing with her health and her love, like learning to love herself or whatever, going through a horrible type of divorce. I can't talk right now. Going through a horrible divorce and like just hating herself and just, you know, so where she is, and she did it naturally, and I'm like y'all, I love those journeys. I love watching those journeys.
So can we transition to another question after talking about that?
Yeah.
So what are the consequences of not seeing your beauty? So like for her, has she not recognized like she was beautiful enough, but yet still wanting to make those like changes in order to like maybe personally enhance those beauties or those features of hers? Like, what are the consequences of not seeing our beauty?
I think Safi talked about it earlier. Like depression is one of them. You know,
for sure.
Constantly seeing ourselves through other people's eyes,
right, and trying to be someone else's image,
right.
And then you're not being yourself, so you're like draining yourself, and you don't even realize it till you look back on. Well, for me, I didn't even realize it till I looked back 2 years later and was like, what the fuck just happened here? So just trying to be what someone else wanted me to be.
Definitely living our life. It's like you can't fit a square into a triangle. Like it just ain't gonna happen. So like being yourself. I love talking about this. I got this from a lady named, I'm gonna tell you her name in a second. But she was talking about the importance of like being who you are naturally, and she was like, you know, being yourself doesn't require that you be like fitting in, doesn't require that you be anybody else but yourself.
Right.
Because if it's meant for you, then you would fit there. So all you have to do is just be. And so when we talk about people, like when we look at ourselves, when we look at our beauty through other people's eyes, we're trying to be them, and that square is never gonna fit into that triangle. You know, that circle is never gonna fit into that triangle.
Yeah.
And so like we really definitely have to just like live our own lives. Just live our own lives. Live our own version of our beautiful self.
Yeah. Gotta be okay with it.
I think. Oh, go ahead.
Go ahead.
Oh no, I was just gonna say I think like being black and being weird, like the consequences of me not doing it is like I don't know who's looking up to me.
Yeah.
Like I don't know who's looking at me. And as much as I say I'm not a role model, like you are a role model to somebody. Yeah, and as somebody's future mama, like I want my daughter and my sons to know that like although mama loves you, you have to love yourself first, because I can't pour love into you for you. Like you have to be willing to get up every day and look at yourself in the mirror. So I think that I'm in like this preparation stage of my life, so that when I do finally like have a family, I'm coming to them whole, you know, and I'm not coming to them broken, because like you said, your mom didn't always tell you you were beautiful, you know, or your mama was saying like you're ugly black. Like I don't want my kids to ever feel like their definition of beauty is defined by somebody else's lack, you know, or when they get out and they hear and somebody may call them ugly, like those words don't stick to them.
Okay,
like
that
shit don't mean nothing to them, because they know that they are beautiful, and their definition of beauty and what they bring to the table is uniquely beautiful in themselves. And like you can't attack them with words, because they are set and they are rooted in self. Like we talked about in the last episode, like plants grow from roots, right? And even though like black people are on the diaspora, like what are those roots, right? So now we're starting to like plant those roots for our future generations. And Ebony, like, and Safi, I think y'all do that beautifully with your sons, in terms of letting them just be who they are. If they want to dress up,
about that, a situation
you let
like
them dress up. Like if Sean says one day, like, I don't know, he want to cut his dreads or something like that, like allowing them that space to define that beauty that is them, and you not putting that on them. Because
before Sean started the school that he is, it's a 97% Latino population, and I let him know like there may be something that they don't like about you because you're different. And he was like, well, Mama, I know. You know what I'm saying? When I tell him he's handsome, mama, I know. You know what I'm saying? So he already has that confidence, and I'm so proud of him because it's so opposite from what I was at his age. Like,
definitely.
Like in some ways we're alike, but as far as his being outspoken, he's so much different from me. But I'm so happy for him that he has that inside of him, especially at this school where nobody looks like him. You know what I'm saying? I think there's one little black boy there. Yeah.
And another interesting thing. Oh, I thought I was cutting you off.
Oh no, I'm done. I'm sorry.
Another interesting thing. I want to go back to what you said and kind of loop in my kids as well. Like you talk about people looking up to you. You know, it's interesting because I had to make a phone call home to a parent, right? And so when I talked to that parent, it was about her son. And you know, when I first got into the class or whatever, he was just mediocre, subpar. You know what I mean? And so he had already came up to me and been like, you know, I appreciate you or whatever, and like told me the reasons why, you know. And I thought that was great because it was on a day when I was really feeling discouraged, you know. And so fast forward 2 months later, I had to call his mom and tell her that he scored highest in my class, and he on his test, and he went from a 1 or a 2 to like a 4, and that's like the highest you can get is a 5. These are AP scores. And so I was telling her I'm proud of him or whatever, and she, you know, she doubled back and was like, you know what, I really appreciate you because he comes home and he talks about you. And I said, what? She was like, yeah, you know, she started telling me stuff that I knew, but she was like, you know, I remember he said you have been having car troubles, you got into a car wreck, and I'm like, yeah. He was like, and he told me that you know, like at one point you had to move really quick and it was stressful, but he was like, you know, you have a fire and that you never bring those problems into the classroom. Like when you step into the class, you're on fire or whatever, and you give them what they need. And so it's like, while we're so worried about everybody else and what they're thinking, there are people who are looking up to us just because of who we are. Like I turn that fire on because I want them to realize that like they don't have to look to other people's standards to understand who they are. Like they can look from within, or their history is just as important. So I'm constantly trying to incorporate their history and constantly trying to lift them up and to stop them from looking at other people's standards. So to hear a student, and he's not one of, you know, I got a crew of kids who like follow me everywhere I go, but he's not one of them, you know. And so to hear that he's at home talking about like what we're doing in class or like what I'm doing for him, like that really, really, really meant something to me or whatever, because historically I have not done very well at that school. My first year I was sort of chastised by the students for being like who I was, you know, like why you talk like that? I'm like, but I bet you I graduated with honors. Okay. So like, you know, why are you like this or whatever, but I bet you I can write you into the ground and I know how to code switch, you know. So it was very much like me not being understood for who I was, and me being too black and too black power and too this and too that. It was like, why you wear your hair like that? Like, what is this rap about? Like everything was so brand new to the first class I taught, and then like I was just like whoa to them because they had never had a black woman teacher.
Like, who is this?
Who is this? And so, but I also got into a little bit of trouble from it, and so I spent a lot of time like hating myself for who I was and trying to change to be this image, because to me a good teacher equated to something else. Like it equated to some white lady who was like very, you know, pale, frail, and just like moving around and like you know getting it done, and like just, you know, getting it done and just perky, and I wasn't any of those things. So like to be it took me a lot of like just dealing with all of y'all, Chris, like just loving myself and like pulling on my fire, because realizing that like my silence wasn't gonna save me, you know. Shout out to Audrey Lord for that one. My silence just wasn't gonna save me, and I had to speak up because I'm like, no, like they need to see more people like me, not people like you. Like they need to understand that like they're like you could be yourself and still be successful. So to like see it manifest in my students was just like wow for me. Sorry, that was a lot, but it was like really wowing for me, because I'm telling you, like even to this day I still have insecurity issues. Like I wore my still nigga hat to school and I knew it was gonna be an issue, but I'm like ain't nobody talking about Stephen Clark. I don't know if you pronounce it Stephen Clark or Stephen
that's what I
Clark, but ain't nobody talking about it. You know what I'm saying? Like ain't nobody talking about it. And so we're in class discussing American Dream, and like I want to put the American Dream in front of you like in a real way, so you can make a decision of what the American Dream looks like for you and if you want to change it, you know. But it took a lot of confidence boosting, and I'm still struggling to this day. Still struggling to this day.
Everyday battle.
It's an everyday battle.
Uphill.
It's an everyday battle.
And I think just to go back to what you were saying, like I think Ebony doesn't recognize all the time that, you know, for her to come to that campus, it wasn't you that needed to change. It was the campus that needed to change. They needed to be shook up, and they needed to see a different representation of what a teacher looks like. Because one, they're not used to probably having black. Well, we know that they're not used to having black teachers, and then to have an unapologetically black teacher, like. Hell no, the students wasn't ready for it, the administration wasn't ready for it, the district wasn't ready for it, period. And I'm sorry, like, you have no reason to apologize, and I'm sorry on behalf of, like,
the white folks.
Hold on. In the sense of they were trying to steal that light and made you question who you were as a person. And at no point should you have had to walk into that school and second guess yourself. And like you said, your silence wasn't getting you anywhere. And so now, almost 4 years later, they looking up to you and asking you for your advice that you don't owe them. You don't owe them shit. You know what I mean? Like, and for students to see that before admin members to see that, or leadership to see that, it's like shame on them, you know. But at the end of the day, we're not there for them. We're there for the students.
Them children.
So
it was hard, y'all. I promise. I had to tell them that, you know, when I went back into the classroom, like, it's hard for me to go into the classroom because I thought I was stupid.
Yeah.
I swear, and it was so hard. Y'all don't understand, because like, a lot of people look at me crazy and be like, nah, like, you never thought you was stupid. But I did. I thought I was like, I'm not smart enough. I'm not good enough. I can't do this. You know, like, just like, you know, I don't like, I know how to turn it on and turn it off, but I wasn't unapologetic at that time. But when I realized that, like, I'm damned if I do and I'm damned if I don't, I was like, fuck them, fuck it, like, they gonna do what they gonna do regardless, you know what I'm saying?
You gotta
say
do what
sorry
you gotta
later.
do.
So I had to do what I had to do and just be me, because I realized that no matter how great you do, when they ready to pull you down, they gonna, you know what I'm saying, they gonna make sure it happens. So I'm like, every day I go through there knowing that, like, you know, my job is on the line, but that's fine because jobs come and go. But myself, I have to be grounded in. Like, myself ain't gonna never, like, leave.
You have to live in your truth.
Yeah, definitely. So shit, still nigga. I got observed, but still nigga.
Still nigga hat.
Like, still nigga hat. Yeah.
I know when I wore my Black Teachers Matters hat, one time a student was like, all teachers matter, but I didn't say it. She kept walking. I'm not a person to get into the debates with people, so I just
not no student.
Child,
yeah, she's like, all teachers matter. Yeah.
You know what? I think we gotta wear our Black Teachers Matter shirt one day this week. I need to wear that for a reminder. But yeah, sorry.
And they love my earrings. I'm black, y'all, and that's
Sophie got me some too. They love those earrings.
Hey, shout out to Preoccupy. She's you can find her on Instagram, PreAnKHUPY, Preoccupy. She makes amazing earrings. Earwangs are what she calls them. And like, these are big circles, and one says I'm black, y'all, and the other says that's a fact, y'all. But her earrings are so unique. It's always a theme, but one ear is always different from the other ear.
Okay.
And I love them, and they're so pretty. And look her up on Instagram, Preoccupy. Look up. You will not be disappointed.
Yeah. And so also, I think embracing this idea. So I don't know if I used to hate the word diversity. Like, I used to hate it. It was like the D word for me. Like,
the D word.
Especially when I was in college. And I talked on this previously in another episode, how when I first started at my college, there wasn't that many black folks there. So when we came in, there was like this big push for diversity because we were the largest incoming like class with the highest percentage of, you know, students that identified as being black or African American. And so I always struggle and go back and forth with this word like diversity, but I think we have to be diverse when we talk about like our standards of beauty, because when I googled the word beautiful or like beautiful women, and what populated was all these white like women and with the blonde hair and with the blue eyes, and like there was a few images of Beyonce here and there because, you know, she reigns supreme, but it's the black standard of beauty being compared to a Beyonce, who is of a lighter skin
fair
tone.
skin.
Yeah, who does wear the long hair.
blonde weave.
Yeah, and it's like, but she does too at the same time identify as being very pro-black.
Yeah.
You know, so we can't necessarily like bubble in the idea of
Bubble butt. I'm sorry.
and they say Beyonce has a big butt, but I'm like, Sarah Bartman,
aka what they call her? Darn, what they call her? Sarah Bartman.
back in the day.
Yeah.
What was it?
Sarah Bartman, Hottentot Venus. That's what they called her.
Hottentot Venus.
But she was the first known victim of female trafficking. She was from South Africa. They lured her to England with the promise of fame, and they would put her in a cage with her butt on display. Like she would wear African beads and things like that, but the only thing that she would cover up is her private part because she wanted to keep that sacred.
Yeah.
But everything else was pretty much nude, and she died at the very ripe age of 26. They believed it was from alcoholism to cope with the fact that she on display.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? In front of all these white people looking
it's
at
like
her.
a moving circus. Wow.
Like,
Definitely
that's
was.
disgusting.
She had the big hips, the big rump, and the extremely thin waist. So I was looking up something, and there was a word that came out. It was a steatopecia. Okay.
Steatopecia.
It's excessive fatness of the buttocks. So steatopecia, aka big butt syndrome. All right, and they even went so far as to measure the angle between your butt and your back. And it was 90 degrees. So you can sit that, you know, when they say you can sit a can on that booty. All right, so if you can sit a can on that booty, you have a characteristic what they call steatopecia. And they often put Sarah Bartman's picture there. And that's how you got these Nicki Minaj's. And the first person I can remember, I don't know if her butt is fake, but Delicious from Flavor of Love. That's the first person I can remember with that huge butt, you know. And I think I don't know for facts if it's fake, but
I don't know either.
But people start doing these butt augmentations, and the price range, okay, for these butt augmentations, $7,000 to $15,000. All right.
No.
So they have 3 different procedures. All right. You can. I'm sorry. I just looked at the note I wrote about booty pops. That commercial. You remember that commercial? That commercial.
And who was wearing the booty pop?
Them flat back white women. Booty pops. Oh my goodness. But there are 3 different procedures. You can get an implant, and you can get, so that's getting injections, silicone, aka waterproof silicone caulk. So I'm sure people who doing it outside of the hospital are going to Home Depot and getting this silicone gel.
You know they are. They got stories in the news.
Right, and so with this silicone gel, they injecting it into your skin, and so it's mingling in with the fat, so it can drift. It don't stay in the butt. Sometimes it drifts. All right, and then you can also get a fat transfer. I think that's more popular now. Taking fat from one part of the body and putting it in your butt. So this also contours your body. So
I might need to look into that.
So wherever they take the fat from, of course, it's gonna be lean and lean. So that's where they get the liposuction. But even with like this stuff, like every time you sit down, there's a possibility of trauma. So
even if you move like your own fat.
No, I'm sorry, just with the injection, my bad. Just with the silicone gel, there's a possibility of trauma every time you sit down, even after your healing.
I can't live my life like that.
Even after your healing.
Hell no.
And then the healing process is like they tell you to take 2 weeks off of work. You know what I'm saying?
And you gotta sit on that donut.
You gotta sit on the donuts because the cells are still fresh. The cell walls are still forming, trying to get strong. And so you can mess your shit up. And then the third one is a butt lift. So if you got saggy booty, they gonna make an incision above your buttocks, pull it up a little bit for you. So yeah, $7,000 to $15,000 though. That's
Hold
a
on,
lot
but
of
can't
money.
you do that
My skin
by
starved very
doing
easily.
squats?
Oh yeah, there are natural ways. Squats. There's
Right.
particular squats, not just the regular squats that people
Sumo
always see.
squat.
Since I've been following these fit. I think it was Fit for the Culture. That's who I follow. But they showed some exercises that you do for butt lifts. You know, natural instead of paying all this money and shit.
Yeah, speaking of natural, that's what I was actually just talking to a friend a couple days ago about, because I've been natural since 2009. That's when I had my big chop, and then I've been there since.
Me
but
too. Wait,
really?
2009 when Sean turned 3 in May.
That's around when I did mine too.
Really? That's when I did. That's when I did. Then the start of my locks. But
Okay, so you went straight to your locks.
Yeah,
so it took me a while to get to my locks or
Okay,
whatever.
yeah.
I kept saying I was gonna start, but I just couldn't get myself there because I love a fro.
I don't got no locks.
But
your hair look good though. I love it.
Great.
I've been natural since 2010.
So when
So we all
the
kinda
same
what?
time. So what happened was, okay, I remember
Before it became a trend.
before
No,
it became
it
a trend.
was
Definitely
before
before it came a trend. So I here's what my struggle was.
We was ahead of our time. Go ahead.
Always.
Sorry,
we always
sorry.
Afro-futuristic.
Sorry.
We're always
For the
been
future,
Afro-futuristic.
definitely.
Okay, I'm sorry.
It's because it's crazy. Y'all have came about y'all's, and everybody come about a different way, but that's why I think it's important to lift each other up. I remember being in my house. Okay, so like I was going to some type of there's like this thing called the Black Caucus. So I was going to that, and I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do with my hair. So at the time, I didn't have any hair. My best friend would have did my weave. I didn't have any weave. I didn't have enough weave to get it done. And so I remember her cousin being over, and we all drinking, and she doing stuff to other people's hair, you know. And I was trying to like take the little weave that I did have and form like a ponytail and make it look natural. And so her mother is a really prominent hairstylist in Houston. Like she makes a lot of really good money. She has really like high profile clients and everything. So she was like making fun of me, like making fun of my ponytail or whatever. And she was like, "What you doing with that thing? What kind of hair is that?" You know? And it was like this cringe-worthy situation because back then I wasn't as like zen or balanced as I was now. So it was more like me being mad than me being able to like come back. Like part of me was able to like come back in a logical way, but part of me was just mad. And I remember somebody telling me, like this guy, he was like, why do you even care? He was like, people who really matter will care more about what's in your head versus what's on your head.
Luca.
And at that point,
Luca from Grownish.
Hey.
really?
He said something like that.
Yeah, so at that point I was like, you know what, you right. And I'm like, what the fuck? Like what's she doing that's so great for me to let her tell me? You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like let me tell me about what I look like. So that's when I had to amp it up a little bit, and like my intelligence started to be my weapon. You know, and my intelligence let me know that like other people, only an insecure person would do that, but I needed to amp it up a little bit to do that. Like only a person looks at somebody who's like going through something. Like me, I was really feeling insecure and decided to pull them down versus lift them up.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
I really I had to amp it up on the intelligence side and realize like I'm better than that. You know what I mean? Like I'm much better than that. So the next year, that's when I finally went through it and like cut it all off and was like, I gotta learn to be secure with myself no matter what I look like. Like no matter if it's short hair, high hair, like I gotta learn to be secure with myself and not care what people think, you know? And so that's when I went and did my big chop, and it was an interesting feat or whatever, because I would have nightmares, y'all, that I got a perm. I swear to God, I would have these dreams, and in my dreams I got a perm. And I was like, I would wake up, and so I did something that I'm so ashamed of. But in my interview for this job that I have now, I wore a straight wig,
Really?
like in a bob or whatever.
I want to see a picture.
I didn't take a picture. I was embarrassed. I felt bad about it afterwards. I was like, did I really do that?
Yeah.
I remember you telling me that.
Yeah, I wore it straight.
So what they say when they saw you without it?
I mean, I
White
was
people
still,
so fascinated with black people hair, though.
It changes every week. So I was wearing weaves. Even though I was natural, I was wearing these natural looking weaves too. Like I would get the kinky wigs and have these big fros and have these big like wave, like twist out looking weaves or whatever. Like I would change my hair up still. And then after I stopped doing that, that's when I finally just got my locks or whatever. I finally got my locks because I had like, extensions and stuff. But it reminds me of like the different things that I'm researching, like Black people in our history of hair. Like first of all, like hair is ingrained in our culture and our identity, right? And it has a language of its own. So like what kind of language was I speaking when I had straight hair? I was trying to say that I'm competent, you know what I mean? I'm presentable, I'm somebody who can be in front of students, as if somehow like the outside and straight hair made me competent. Because I know a lot of blonde hair, blue-eyed people that work at our school with straight hair who are not very competent. So somehow I got confused in the language, but that's fine. That's fine. But also you look at different people and what hair said. Like we have, let me try to go back in history. Cornrows have been out. There are statues of people with cornrows.
Okay, stop
as early as 3500 BC. Okay, 3500 BCE or whatever. There are statues of women with cornrows. I don't know what the E stand for either. That's just what I read. I was like, what the E stand for now? I was like, I don't care. That's a long time ago, no matter what. Oh, before Christ's existence. Okay. Maybe shit. Who knows? But we didn't start calling it cornrows until slavery because it looked like the cornrows that they were plotting or whatever. So you have like the different people can look at your hair and tell what your status is. So if men were going to war in like Senegalese culture, I forgot what the country was called before it was Senegal, but they would wear their hair in braids or whatever, like high to the sky because they were going to war. And so it's also if women didn't have anything done with their hair, you knew that they were in mourning, right? Like if their hair was just like matted and crazy, that was a sign of mourning. You couldn't do your hair if you were in mourning. It was a ritual as much as it was a process. So some people just naturally don't do their hair because they're in mourning. But even if you ain't sad about it, you still didn't do anything, so people can look at you and tell that you were in mourning, right? So our hair has always been culture. So Black people in specific, like the reason why we've been so like intricate with our hair is because our hair grows towards the sun, and so it's been considered like a spiritual process to work with your hair and tell what state of mind that you're in. And so like why the fuck would we take our hair that grows towards the sun and try to flatten it and lose our spirituality
and steam it and burn it
and so even the styles of tooth, like they're like the tooth, they like the toothed combs that we use to comb our hair, like they're like 25,000 different types of combs. And I'm exaggerating, but like there are several different types of combs that you use depending on how your hair was. But we try to put like a thin ass rat tail through our hair. Like why are we putting a rat tail comb through our hair? So you look at Black people, like we started to do that after slavery. It was a form of oppression, and we did that to sort of blend in with society, to calm people down, calm them down and let them know, like, hey, look, I'm just like you guys from top. So it was a camouflage effort, right? And so if you look at right after slavery and then up until the 1960s, that's when you start to see the afro, okay? And the afro was a sign of resisting oppression, which is because I've been wanting to get oppression beneath my resist tattoo. I've been wanting to get oppression, but this shit hurts, so I gotta wait. But it was a sign of resistant oppression. Like the reason why we started to wear our hair in the afros is so we can say like we're actually not gonna try to calm ourselves down in order to make you feel comfortable. And it reminds me of Angela Davis when she went to court and they tried to when she was on trial or whatever, and she came in her afro, touting up her Black Power fist like fuck you. And so the comb that we see, the Black Power comb, the pink or whatever, the pink came about in the 70s, right? So a lot of people associated with Nelson Mandela because that's what Nelson Mandela did when he was released, but actually no, like that was a sign of the Black Power movement, and one of the modes of Black Power had to do with our hair. And
do y'all recognize that they now using that fist for other things now, women power?
Yeah, like solidarity
Trump uses
and
the fist.
Oh no, I didn't see that.
Yeah.
But I know like a lot of people like to use it for solidarity and shit. But I mean, I feel a lot of ways, but I think it goes back to confirm what I tell to my students, because like I said, they do live in, like you said, actually they live in a bubble, 97% Latino, right? They don't know what it's like to be socially black. And so when they start using the fist, I'm like, oh, you starting to get it. Like, being black don't always mean like what you see on the outside. Like, people look at you as a person of color and like put you out, or somebody who's different and put you out. So like, I guess, that fist means power, and people are trying to like, use that fist to gain back some of their power. But hair itself like really just speaks a certain language. I mean, you look, I promise, I know people, actually I got a friend, shout out to Shanita, she used to she said that when she had locks or whatever, people would think that she was like eclectic and like real down to earth. And
I didn't know she had locks.
Yeah, she used to have locks or whatever, and so when she had her hair like that, people thought that she was like super deep and shit. Cause your hair like does speak a language, and so it reminds me of the Rastas, like who would not cut their hair because the Rastas did not cut their hair because it was a part of their religion and their spiritual purposes. So it's like it was against their religious law to cut their hair. Like there was certain power in it. Even now, when black men be like they gonna cut their hair and stuff fade, I'm like, what, you trying to look like some little bald headed white boy? Like I don't understand. Like, let your hair grow, black man. Like, let your hair grow, black man. Like, your hair is a connection to your culture, and I want to see it all. So
that's my boy, just like our fellow Bleirdo, he started growing his hair. He got the
did you see him?
Oh my
First of all, I told y'all,
looking like a buffet over there. Okay,
I was teaching.
Like
I was teaching, and he walked by. I was like, damn.
I was
like, hey, looking like a snack.
I was teaching
a whole
like
meal. Every time I see him, I be like, "You gonna have to stop walking up to me." Because he know exactly what he doing too.
Listen, we share a closet, so he came in my room while I'm teaching. I'm on the other side of the room, and I see him by the side eye, and the student said, "Oh, you cut your hair," and I was like, "Wow." Oh my goodness!
Looking like a whole
buffet.
I had to call him out in the middle of the hallway, and it was students, and I didn't care because I'm like, one, he needs to hear it, and two, like other people need to hear it too, and they need to know that like we are watching.
We are for you, and black man. We love you, black man.
Black man. Like we love you, black man. Even some of you black men who only play outside when it's convenient. Bobby Nyko. Bobby Nyko was like, he gonna get his Bobby Nyko. Bobby Nyko. He said he was gonna get him some locks. I'm like, first of all, you too sexy. You can't get locks.
Him or Mal?
No.
I told Mal that too, but in a different way. I can't be that. Mal a little crazy. But like. He probably won't
walking on them toes.
Tippy toe. Just like we got one of my homeboys. He walked like that too. Nigga looking like his knees about to break like a bird. I'm like, you might be 6 feet, but the way your knees is, bitch, you're about to jump on top of the building real quick. Look, but with Bobby Nikon, I was like, honey, you can't go around. First of all, you look too good. You can't get locks. Women gonna just think he just looked too good. He just sexy.
He is like, off the market, y'all.
Oh, that's good.
Bobby Nyko.
I mean, you can look but not touch. Like, I'm off the market too, but that don't mean I can't. That don't mean I can't eye a good meal when I see it. Shit, whatever. I ain't gonna eat it, but I ain't gonna indulge. But I know it's there. Like, I know
look but don't touch.
Look but don't touch. These black men growing their hair.
I went natural off of a need. The city I was in, I was going to the only black beautician in the city, and because at the time I had like a Jada Pinkett haircut, like it was real short, so it needed consistent maintenance, right? And so I was going, like my grandma was funding to get my hair, and that's why I was getting my hair done every week. And so she was like providing for me to get my hair done every week, and every week I would walk out of her salon in tears because I just hated my hair. And so I went natural out of a need because I'm like, I can't continue to pay somebody to do my hair for me to continuously be miserable. Right. So I had to take initiative. I had to take initiative in that transition. So when I say I went natural in 2010, I actually was transitioning, and I big chopped when I turned 21. And I remember my ex at the time was like with me while I like got my big chop. Like, he like took me out and like really tried to make me feel beautiful, you know. Like, but when I finally did Big Chop, when I tell y'all, I have to show y'all these pictures from my grandparents' 50th wedding anniversary, when my skin was just like flourishing, my hair was real short, so all you saw was my features of my face, and like that was when I probably felt the most beautiful, was when I was 21, because all I had was my face. Like I couldn't do nothing with my hair.
Work that face.
And
give me face. Give me face. Give me face. Yes. I love it.
And so I love it. And I actually big chopped again after that, like later on down the line, but I was going through something. Anyway, I ended up big chopping, but like I actually went natural out of necessity. Plus I was like researching, and I didn't want to continuously like put chemicals in my hair, and it was just a really interesting time. And like I said, I was on YouTube hard, and I became like a product junkie. You could open up the bottom of my shelf, and I would have so many shampoos, conditioners, oils, leave-ins, like bobby pins everywhere, because I'm trying to do different hairstyles with people who hair didn't look like mine, but I was trying to figure it out. And it's just been a continuous journey of re-loving my hair, and I chopped it off again a year ago. And so like now I'm getting to a place where I'm trying to love myself, but in loving myself I have to love my hair.
Yeah.
I have to love my skin. Yeah. I have to love like just certain things about it. And so 2018 being a year of intent for me, I have to be very intentional. So I honestly haven't even been going to my beautician for a month and a half, because I'm like, I can pay someone to do this, which I love her, she's great. But if I'm not taking care of my hair in that week in between me going to get my hair done, I don't deserve to get my hair done. I haven't earned sitting in somebody else's chair for them to touch my hair if I can't even do the shit myself.
I feel
so I'm just trust me. I come from the mindset of I'm gonna pay somebody to do my hair. Most definitely. But when that shit is starting to look dry that week in between, and I'm just wrapping it because I don't want to do nothing with it, like that's not acceptable, because I'm working against her. She's trying to get my hair to maintain the healthiness of my hair. I'm not, you know what I mean? So it's I'm not enthralled in the process. So I'm gonna go back. I'm gonna go back because I've been doing good. I did my pre-poo last night, and I'm gonna wash it out when I get home. So yeah, it's just a process.
The reason why I don't like paying people to do my hair, because I walk out of there thinking I could have did that shit myself and used that money for something else. But my hair journey go way back to when I was little, okay? My hair done been took down through there. I used to get Jerry curls, okay? It's curls when I was little, all right? And my brother was in junior high, I was in elementary, so they leaving the junior high, they used to pick me up and we used to go to the gym. I had my curl, so one of his friends would put me on a baseball cap, and guess what my nickname was?
What?
Easy E. They called me Easy E for so long, and I didn't realize until I saw Easy E's daughter's 16th birthday party on MTV that our lips are really similar. Easy E and I lips.
With the hat,
and they used to call me Easy E, bruh.
Hilarious. I'm so sorry.
But I stopped getting perms because it was breaking my hair out, and I was thinning. So for a year, my cousin did braids, so I would wear braids and everything. So after that year, I took my braids out. I think I wore it and I did the big chop. So I think that might have been early 2009. And then like in May 2009, I went and got when I got my locks, and that's when I started. Around May, June of 2009. So I've been had them. But at this point, like, I went through a period of twisting them a lot, you know, because I didn't want to have the nappy look. But the reason why I got locks, because I love Lauryn Hill's locks, and they were a lot thicker than mine are now. So I'm thinking about cutting them. I don't know when, but I want to cut them and start over to have them thicker. But like at this point, I haven't retwisted my hair. When I first got to Houston, I did allow somebody to do my hair and twist it. But I was like, I don't like the parted manicured look anymore. So I stopped twisting my hair, and I really like sometimes I brush my edges. Freeform, but at this point my locks have already formed small, skinny locks.
Yeah.
So that's why I'm thinking about cutting them and starting them over
Gotcha.
and making them thicker and not really being worried about twisting and nice edges and edge control and like. It's okay
I
that
am the queen of edge control.
Girl,
Like,
Crystal would be like, her and Jamel be like, you gonna get it retwisted? I be like, no.
yeah, my mama.
I like you gon' get
Man,
it.
bro.
I don't care about
The
the
last
retwisted.
time I
just
seen
know
my mama,
Because of
she
my
was
edges.
like,
I'm an
Y'all
edge
know, y'all be
control.
talking about it.
No, we
Like,
tell
I
you to
don't
tie
really
your
care.
hair down so that your
oh,
edges
tied
don't
it. I
fall
noticed, yeah.
out.
Yeah, dude.
If
yeah,
you sleep
tied
on a
it up,
cotton
tied it
pillow,
down.
you need to tie it
I
up.
tie
Yeah.
it.
That's what I'm saying. I don't necessarily
Yeah.
care about you freeforming your dreads or not.
No, that's what it was. Somebody was like, you freeforming? What you doing? I was like,
Yeah.
shit, I'm just growing it.
Yeah, my
Hold on,
mama
I'ma
always
defend
asks me
Jamel
like,
real quick.
"Are you
I'm just kidding.
gonna get your hair retwisted?" I'm like, no. Or she asked me something about retwisting. Like she's always on me about retwisting my hair.
I
I'm
don't
like,
think I've asked
no.
you about retwisted. I definitely know I said something about your edges and you tying your hair up, but that's simply because I don't want your hair to fall out. You
Yeah,
can't
it
work
will.
against your hair.
It will.
I put my bonnet on now. It's growing. I ain't never seen my hair this thick in my life though. People
Really?
be like, my hair's not as thick as y'all's. When I had perms, my hair was
Mine was
not
thin.
thick.
Mine was
I thought
thin.
I had thin hair, and I ain't never like I've seen my hair grow, but only to like be broken. I ain't never seen it just like grow, and it still need a lot of work. But just leaving it alone and. All I do is like manicure, but my manicure process is like spraying it, oiling it, rubbing my fingers through, not doing it for like 3 or 4 days, but then doing it again, and that's really just it. And I'm like, I still don't know where I'm going. I don't love it. It's getting there, but let me stop lying. But I do love it. You know,
Yeah.
I don't love on it as much as I can, but it's definitely getting to where I was gonna be. But you talked about your big chop. Robert did mine. Like
Really?
Robert cut mine with a he was like, no. I was like, yes. And I had started growing my locks twice and cut them off, and I was like, dang, like I had grew them for a year and didn't like them, and they looked like this, but I was like, I want them to be like sister locks, and then I'm like, no, just let them grow.
Yeah.
So it's been me and I'm like you. I used to make my cousins sit down and let me do their hair, and I would gel down their bangs
The
and
first
take a
time
comb and wave through.
That black gel.
Yes, honey, we kept it. It was all.
Yeah.
I have it all on the edges. I used to swoop my hair down. First, I wore a gel swoop. Then I wore a loose swoop.
I never wore a swoop ever.
I'm from the hood. We wore a swoop and a drawstring ponytail.
Yeah, I wore
And a drawstring.
I got a
in the
drawstring
band, drawstring
ponytail
ponytail.
story.
Oh, tell me.
I was in 5th grade and we used to have tetherball tournaments. I don't know if y'all ever played tetherball,
my
the ball that's on the
God.
string.
Oh, okay.
And you get it around the pole.
Please don't tell me it came out. Please don't tell me it came out.
Oh,
Not
baby.
in 5th grade.
Oh, baby.
Y'all, I was in it. Woo, woo. It's going around. And he come back and he hit it back the other way. I went one way and my ponytail flew it.
What you did?
Wow.
What you do to
What
like
he
cover it
do?
up?
What he
Cause I know girls who will like pull like ponytail out just to like.
I'm just gonna say it got swooped up by somebody that was playing dodgeball on the other wall and was waving it in the air. But
No.
I don't. But you know what's crazy? I don't remember being embarrassed because I had hair under that ponytail, right? Don't get the shit
A lot of
twisted.
folks say,
I had hair under that ponytail,
Yeah.
so when you put in the drawstring, your hair is like in a bun or
Yeah.
whatever. So I just took the.
So was you wearing perms?
Oh yeah, I had perms.
Okay.
Like my mom had perm my hair up, and then she would put on the drawstring ponytail. My mom used to wear drawstring ponytails. I was like, oh, I want a drawstring ponytail too. Blah blah blah.
Yeah.
But my hair was like, it never always quite sat on there, right? Because my hair was really still full, even though I had a perm. And I had a bigger bun than what most people used to have when they had drawstring ponytails, because they'd be like, bald head, scallywag, no hair in the back.
ain't got no
Anyways.
hand in the bag.
Yeah,
Or like what I got on right
So-
now.
Yeah, no, we do.
Yep. So when it fell
Y'all
off,
look
I
that
just
stuff.
untucked the bottom part of my bun, and I still had a ponytail. So I wasn't like
show out like.
tripping.
Okay, y'all want to
But-
laugh? Look at here.
Yeah, it was
It's
one
real,
of those,
honey.
like, I
Look
got
at here.
hair, blah blah blah, and yeah.
I bet you my hair long. Oh, she got that good hair. That's that Puerto
That
Rican
Puerto Rican hair.
Dime it, stupid.
But like my grandma has long hair. My grandma got long hair.
So your mama hoe.
When my mama grow her hair out, she got long hair. So I always used to feel like, why my hair don't never like get that long or whatever. Like especially being natural. Like my shrinkage is
phenomenal,
crazy. And so I straightened my hair out twice since I've been natural since 2010. But like even when I pull on it, I'm like, okay. So when I cut it and then I regretted cutting it because now I'm growing my hair back and it's not. I don't feel like it's the same as it was when I first.
Beautiful.
It does.
I walk in there, I be like, ooh, you looking all silky over there and woolly at the same time. How you do that?
I didn't recognize that my hair was actually flourishing until Fumi actually said something.
Yeah.
Like she walked up to me and she was like, what do you do for your hair? Because when I look at my hair, I'm like, I want crystal hair. And I'm like, really?
Yeah, it looks really good.
So shout out Fumi. Thank you for the confidence boost, girl.
All right. Shout out Fumi. I don't know. Yeah, it's a journey. My boys love their locks. And I asked, they all want different stuff. But actually, all my family, like, you know, like me, Robert, the kids, we all have hair now.
Yeah, now your mama, did she take
now my mama got locks.
Yeah.
Can you believe my mama has locks?
What?
Let me say, because she's on the starter locks. That's
Okay.
And so, but you haven't seen her starters though. But listen, my mama the same one.
Twist last time.
Yeah, she had them.
Oh, she did?
That time we was over there for recording.
Oh, because her hair is like really fine.
Oh, okay.
And so she starts off with the what is it, whatever strand.
2 strands.
Yeah, this was
okay, that's what I think.
Yeah, because she
I think
can't.
that's what she had.
Yeah, she can't do this. Like how mine's is coiled, her hair won't really do that, and so it'll fall. And so for my mama to have locks after all the hell she done gave me all these years on my hair, but it shows you guys, if you walk in your light and just shine, other people will be like, damn, what's going on for that? Let me
That's real.
Where that path lead to? Oh, that path leads to beauty? Oh, that path leads to being Bleird as fuck and still loving yourself?
Okay.
Oh, let me follow that light. You like, people will really follow your light. Because I even look at like some of the people, I swear to God, I interact with some people who so like woke, and I'm putting air quotes, but people who just so outward about their blackness, who I never thought would have been outward, you know, and they be like speaking up and shit. And I'm like, dog, you gotta be you. Because you don't know how you being you is encouraging somebody else to be them. If we all following the standard of beauty, right, then like we don't ever get a chance to see how beautiful it is to just be us and flourish. And so when I'm like, damn, like me being me, and I got people messaging me being like, can you believe such and such said this to me? I'm like, go get them, you know. Don't let them talk to you like that. Don't let them, like, you know, diminish who you are. And like just to see some of my the people who I interact with like just changing over is just it's an encouragement. And it's not to like I don't know. It's beautiful. It really is. Being black is beautiful.
Definitely.
Yeah, so that's what we are. But yeah, my boys have locks. They're growing, and the only thing that he want to do is to be able to do this to shake his hair. And I'm like, soon. Okay. So he'll make a year. My oldest son will make a year in August.
But the top part of their head is locked, right? Does he want like full?
It's grown. Like I haven't cut it. It's grown out. He was just getting it edged up. Yeah. But now he's fully grown it out. Even Malcolm. First of all, my son, when somebody asked him what's his name, he like Malcolm X. Malcolm X. Yeah, Malcolm X. I didn't teach him that, but like he loves it. His name is Malcolm X because he knows Malcolm X is on our wall. Yeah. So we ain't got most black families got Jesus on their wall. We got Malcolm X and Marcus Garvey and Chance the Rapper.
And I got Malcolm X and Asada.
Exactly. I think actually, didn't you give us? No, you gave us a Malcolm photo. I don't have a.
I ain't got nothing on my wall.
I'm gonna get a Asada.
Just some mirrors.
No, your house is very beautiful.
Got some mirrors too.
But it's just funny because some people grow up looking at that blonde hair,
white Jesus,
blue-eyed Jesus, and they want to be, and you know, they want to be as close as you can get to white, because that's as close that you can get to God. Whereas my kids want to be like Malcolm and Marcus. That's, you know what I mean? Like, and that's what I always wanted them to be. You know, so I'm excited about his journey, about all of their journeys, and to come in uniquely, you know.
That's beautiful.
That's
You gotta love yourself, man. You gotta. If you don't do nothing else, you must love yourself. I think the root to a lot of our problems, depression, like you're not loving yourself, and like, okay, maybe we can say we weren't taught how to love ourselves. We are adults now. Learn how to love yourself. Figure it out. Figure that thing out. We gotta stop blaming other people. Because maybe in the beginning it was something that other person did. You know what I'm saying? But at this point, the only thing that you can control is yourself. So you know, fuck all that other shit that happened. Love yourself. Be comfortable with yourself. You know what I'm saying? Stop comparing yourself. Like if you constantly on social media watching TV, you will see these images that look nothing like you, but they let them be them and you be you.
That's real. And in closing, I have two things. I was telling Ebo and Safi about Tammy Rivera's daughter, Charlie. And however you feel about like Tammy Rivera, what I will say is from what I've seen, she definitely lets her daughter be her, and her daughter is so like beautifully unique and like different and really weird, you know, in a beautiful way. And so her daughter started a new Instagram page called Weird is the New Pretty, and her bio is a Fruit Loop in a world full of Cheerios. And like I think that is so beautiful and like so necessary, and the fact that Tammy, shout out to her in this instant, like definitely just lets her daughter be that 13-year-old like child who's still learning and developing, but not like questioning who it is to be like beautiful, you know, because she's setting her own standard of beauty. And even though like her mother is, you know, very tight in the waist and like has the, you know, flowy hair and just, you know, very like mainstream black beauty, her daughter is like, I'm gonna wear these colorful ass braids in my hair, and when I get my hair done, I'm gonna have all these different like rainbow effects of colors. And so I think that we need to definitely pour into our children that way, you know. Tammy's definition of beautiful is different from her daughter's definition of beautiful, but it's still beautiful,
it's still beautiful.
So shout out to that. And I want to close with a quote that I think really sums up everything that we talked about today, and it's by Erin McKean, who is a lexicographer and an author, and it says, what is a lexicographer?
What the hell is a lexicographer?
They are people that write for like the dictionary.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Cool.
Oh,
So she's full of words.
Okay.
It says, you don't have to be pretty. You don't owe prettiness to anyone. Not your boyfriend, spouse, partner, not to your co-workers, especially not to random men on the street. You don't owe it to your mother, you don't owe it to your children, and you don't owe it to civilization in general. Prettiness is not a rent you pay for occupying a space marked female. So, for every woman, child, girl out there who thinks that their beauty is compared to other people's standard of beauty, it's not. And I think that Erin did a really, really, really good way of like summing that up. So I just wanted to close with that.
You do not compare.
Right. Nobody is you for a reason, because can't nobody do you like you.
Exactly.
Nobody love you like you.
In closing, thank you for listening to our episode today. Make sure you follow us across all social media. Again, the new social media handle for Instagram is Bleirdos Podcast, but you can still type in Bleirdos, it will still pop up. But we definitely want to get y'all on there. And we have actually started posting on our Twitter and getting our Facebook going. So make sure you follow us across there as well at Bleirdos. So
and yeah, make sure you talk to us, guys. We want to know like what you're thinking, if you can identify with any of this stuff, or even if you have a story to tell and you want to talk more about it, maybe we can get you on the show. So yeah, hit us up on all social media and
stay weird, friends. Like we say stay weird, friends, but read the words, listen to the words. Stay weird friends. Okay? We just want you to be who you are.
Okay. All right. Peace.
Peace out.